Hi, I'm Ann Coulter. Welcome to my Substack. I am very excited today to interview someone whose mysterious bookshop I've been dying to go to and haven't been able to because I haven't been in New York, and that's Otto Penzler, founder of Mysterious Bookshop. If you like mysteries, this hour is for you. Welcome, Otto.
Hi, Ann. Thank you very much for having me on your show. It's a joy to be here.
So your shop is down in Tribeca, and how long has it been there?
We will be celebrating our 45th anniversary in April, but we've been in Tribeca for 18 years. So I still call it the new store.
Okay, maybe I'll make it for the 40th anniversary
We,
finally at last. I have some mystery writer friends who are huge fans of yours, Andrew Klavan, and it was Zach Bisonette who kept trying to get me down there, but we were never in New York at the same time. So I'm probably going to ask you a lot of questions you hate. Zach wanted me to talk to you about the Linda Fairstein controversy, but I told you, maybe we'll get to that. I really want to talk about mysteries.
let's
Um,
talk about that one's a mystery too, but let's talk about fictional mystery instead, shall we?
yes. Okay. First of all, what makes a mystery a mystery? What are the elements?
Um, it's a hard question to answer in a sentence. It generally, the way I define it, I do a series. I've been general editor of a series for about 27 years called The Best Mystery Stories of the Year. And in every issue, in my introduction, I define it as any story in which a crime or the threat of a crime is essential to the theme or the plot.
So there doesn't have to be a murder.
There does not, although most mystery novels do. It's a violation of society and of civilization, and the greatest violation is to take somebody else's life.
Yes, and
So,
in my
I
case, if there's no murder, I'm out.
oh well, most of them do, but I include. It's a very wide definition. I like to think of it as generous, but I include thrillers like espionage fiction because they're murders, there's death, and sometimes a great quantity. It's just not a single individual in a garden.
So your definition doesn't require there to be clues dropped throughout, like a puzzle.
No, well, all mysteries are puzzles to some degree, but all fiction is puzzles to some degree. Will Romeo and Juliet get together? Is a mystery and a puzzle, but no, we need violence, we need death. You know,
Yes, if there isn't a murder, really, my own life is more interesting. Um,
but just to say, I don't mean to interrupt, but just to say, detective stories is
yeah.
just one element, one part, one subgenre of the mystery world. Crime novels, suspense novels, uh, thrillers, espionage. They're all part of the mystery genre, the way I define it, which is widely. Detective stories are detective stories.
Yeah, I like detective stories, but Columbo, for example, I mean, that's a TV show, not a book, but that's not a mystery. We know who did it in the first scene. And then it's really just watching Peter Falk, which is fun, but it's not a mystery.
It's a mystery. It's just not a detective novel, not
Oh,
a detective
okay.
story. To some degree, it is because, yes, you know who it is. It's called an inverted detective story, by the way,
Oh,
where it was created by R. Austin Freeman, a name you may not be familiar with, in the 19 teens, where Dr. Thorndike would narrate this and let you know who the murderer was. And the mystery, the same as with Columbo, the mystery really is figuring out how he's going to get caught, what clues the detective is going to discover that this brilliant criminal who was so sure he was going to get away with it, where did he make his mistake? And as you're reading the book or watching the television show, that is really where the suspense comes in. Like, how's he going to get caught? Will he get away with it?
right. I always start Columbo saying, nope, he's not going to solve it this time.
Yeah.
Not going to work.
Well,
Uh, mm.
well, you were wrong every time you said that, weren't you?
No. He gets lucky every time.
Yeah.
Who writes better mysteries, men or women?
Um, oh, you're going to really put me on the spot here. Let me say, I'm not going to dance around it. I would say that my preference tends to generally be male writers than female writers. Um, I'm a fan of the private eye novel. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a fan of espionage fiction. And most espionage novels and most of the best private eye novels have been written by men. Now, starting out when I was first reading mystery fiction after Sherlock Holmes, the first love that I had was Agatha Christie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was, and I still think to this day, she is the greatest plotter in the history of mystery fiction.
And who do you think the best mystery writer is overall?
Well, best is hard to define because, we use different measurements, different things that appeal to us. I would say that a great moment in my life became when I recognized that mystery fiction can be serious literature. And that
Mm-hmm.
is when I read Raymond Chandler.
Oh, yes. Yes. How about between Raymond Chandler and Dashiell Hammett?
It's well, I love them both. One of my best friends represents the Hammett estate. And so we have
Ooh.
argued about the merits of both. I think probably Hammett has a greater depth in terms of psychological understanding than Chandler, but I think Chandler is a better writer because his use of simile and metaphor are so powerful, more than anybody who has ever worked in this field. To me,
Mm-hmm. And you say you saw that mysteries could be serious literature.
yeah.
They're generally not seen that way. Wouldn't you agree?
I would have agreed with you more 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
25 years ago, the universities weren't teaching mystery fiction. Now there are 300 courses being given in universities around the country. And a lot of the snobs who used to come into my store said, "Well, I'm here picking up something for my mother or for my daughter or whatever. I don't read them myself." And I said, "Oh, how sad for you." So you've never read Dostoevsky, for example. You've never read Charles Dickens. Oh, what a sad life you must lead, And finally, they say, "Oh, well, give me something." And I would give them a variety of authors, whether it's a Christie if they seem to like a puzzle, or if they really liked style, I would give them Raymond Chandler, or I give anybody Sherlock Holmes.
So you think, oh, I wanted to ask you, who came first, Hercule Poirot or Sherlock Holmes? They're very similar.
They are similar. Christie stole the eccentricities from Conan Doyle. The very first Sherlock Holmes story appeared in 1887,
Oh,
and the first Poirot appeared in the mid 1920s. So uh, Conan Doyle's career lasted for 40 years. Sherlock Holmes lasted for 40 years, 1887 to the last story which was in 1927,
wow.
and which is basically when Poirot was just beginning, and that lasted for almost 50 years. So Agatha had a long, long career with Poirot as well.
You need to have a distinctive character, don't you?
Well, it helps if you don't care about the character,
Mm-hmm.
whether that character is the detective or the criminal or the victim,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the story becomes hollow.
Mm-hmm.
Then it becomes a jigsaw puzzle or a crossword. You really need to be invested in the characters to get deeply involved in a novel, and in a television series or a movie
Mm-hmm.
for it to resonate for you in a serious way.
Yeah, I can't really think of any half decent mysteries or detective stories, whatever, who don't have a distinctive and interesting main character.
Absolutely. And it's the great puzzle, it's the great difficulty for writers who I think of really is being godlike, because they're looking at a blank page in the typewriter or a blank screen on their computer. And from that, they have to create a whole world
Mm-hmm.
and a person or people who are believable. They've
Yes.
created people that
Yes, and distinctive.
that are distinctive, as
Yes,
we
it's
all are. We each have our eccentricities and differences.
You can watch complete episodes of Unsafe with Ann Coulter by subscribing to anncoulter.substack.com. That's anncoulter.substack.com. You can also listen to complete episodes for free at Ricochet.com. Choose Unsafe from the pull-down menu at the top of the page. That's Ricochet.com, your home for civil center right conversation on the web.